All right, so it's another trading day, and I want to welcome us to our morning analysis. Now, today, as usual, we'll run through the fundamentals and we'll go on the chart to see what is the market is saying. Good morning, Madam Anaji and Mr. Joshua Corey. So today, the events that are taking place fundamentally, we're expecting Empire State Manufacturing Index from the United States by 1:30 p.m. It's a medium impact event, so we really don't expect much volatility, but nonetheless, we'll still put our eyes on that event. And later today by 8:45 p.m., the RBA, that's the Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Bullock, will give a speech by 8:45 p.m. But that's not for day traders, except those who are doing swing. All right, so tentatively, we're only looking at the Empire State Manufacturing Index from United States by 1:30 p.m. today. So let's take note of that and we'll go over to the chart. So the week started on a very rather, you know, uh, high note with after the effect of the volatile activity of last week Friday. Now the dollar still remains bearish. This is the daily time frame for the dollar index. You can see price descending on the trend line with the key level of resistance here, everything culminating at this region as our confluence point. Yesterday, price touched the trend line on the daily time frame, and we can see there has been a steady reversal from there. So we expect further drop in the dollar in the course of today. So we hold a bearish outlook on the dollar. And yesterday afternoon, I dropped an analysis in the group of dollar USD CHF, showing us the symmetrical triangle setup where price could break out on either side, and we've seen price break out on the lower side, potentially giving a bearish movement to the tune of about 27 pips, so I believe that has done its major move. Though, however, today, if price is able to break out below this region here, if price is able to make a break below this region, we may experience further movement. But for now, the perfect setup has done its major move, so we're not really putting our eyes on the USD CHF today. USD is a key one which we've been looking at since last week. After price descended on the daily time frame, and we can see a very strong confluence. Price trending downwards, making lower highs, trending downwards there. Uh, a, 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 a channel also giving a confluence with a psychological level, everything giving a confluence at that point. And I remember telling us last week that we're expecting some bearish movement on the USDJPY. Currently, we're seeing some movement, but then I'm anticipating the possibility of a bounce today, slight bounce in the bullish direction. And reason for that, even though the overall trend for the dollar is bearish, but for this particular USDJPY, I'm expecting some slight bullish movement. The reason is because of this previous resistance and a slight support here. It may see price trend up a little before the final breakout. So I'm expecting a short-term bullish movement on the USDJPY while we still hold on to a longer-term bearish movement on the USDJPY. I said it earlier at the beginning of the week that if price breaks out below this box, we'll see some slight movement downward. That has happened, but then I expect a slight bullish before a final break on the USDJPY. I would rather advise we wait for that bearish breakout. Just wait for a slight movement upwards. Then once price breaks out below this region, we can target a much more bigger move downwards. So I'm bearish on the USD Now, yesterday I gave an outlook on Euro USD and I said I'm bullish with a double bottom pattern forming on the 1 hour time frame. Price is currently trading within the neckline region. If a new candle breaks out above the region today, you are safe to trigger, a buy trade on the Euro USD. Putting in mind the fact that the dollar index is bearish, then conversely the Euro USD is expected to be bullish. So anytime that breakout happens today, feel free to take a buy on the Euro USD. And The entry is coinciding with a I keep saying psychological level these days, with a Fibonacci level 38.2. So let's see price breakout above this, even if it's just 5 pips. And with that, we can trigger a buy. Fibonacci 50 will give about 20 pips on the average, and Fibonacci 1.8 can give as much as 50 pips. Now, this is actually the key analysis for today. So please put your attention a lot on this Euro USD. The confluence is really a good one, for a good trade. So I'm very bullish on the Euro USD. For the GBP USD, is still going to be bullish, just like the Euro USD, though I think it's safer to trade it on the 4-hour time frame. It's more swing friendly. So if you're a swing trader, you may look towards that direction. And since we're bearish on the dollar, we have a bearish outlook on the USD card. I mentioned that at the beginning of the week that we're bearish on the USD card. Though the analysis changed slightly, there's a slight change, but it's still, the direction is still the same. The candle for yesterday closed as a rejection candle on the daily time frame. We have a rising wedge, but there's also a previous support here. So it's support on resistance. Technically, we're looking for a bearish movement. And if we flip down to the 1-hour time frame, I'm seeing a head and shoulder forming with the neckline region being around here. So this is not really a sharp head and shoulder, but at least with eyes of experience, I can see it. So if a new candle breaks out below this region, RSI is already below 50, MACD is already below 0. So if a new candle breaks out below this region, then we'll see a sell on the USD card. And you can target profits on this in the region of some 20-25 pips. So we're bearish on the USD card. And this makes the second key analysis for today. The first being the Euro USD, where we're bullish on 1 hour, and the USD card, where we're bearish on 1 hour. So please watch these two closely in the course of today. Okay, I think that should be all from my end. If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask. So, as a recap, we've looked at the dollar index. I said we're bearish on the dollar index, and I saw we're bearish on the USD card on 1 hour, and we're bullish on the Euro USD on 1 hour. Those are the two major setup I'm giving us this morning. So I'll attend to questions now as we gradually begin to round up. Gold, GBP US. I've said GBP US is bullish on 4 hour. It's more of a swing. AUD card. AUD card is not giving clarity at the moment. It's not giving clarity, but what may be possible, maybe on the lower time frame, like 15 minutes, is this. Now, on the 4 hour, there is a valid support on resistance here, and price is approaching that same level. So we may just expect some slight retracement. So we can go down to like 15 minutes time frame. So this is the 15 minutes. So on the 15 minutes, we can just watch out for a kind of a reversal, but confirm with your RSI below 50 before you trigger a sell. So that's my view on AED card. We can be bearish on 15 minutes on AED card. GBP JPY. Okay, so GBP JPY from Madam Monaji. Let's check. Okay, GBP JPY. Yeah, my analysis on Monday was a bearish breakout. Don't forget we had an analysis of the head and shoulder and a break. Now it's retraced, it's back. Now let me go to the daily. So let's see if there's going to be a further continuation. Okay, I remember the setup. All right. This is the weekly time frame. All right. So the week started with a rejection, or rather last week closed with a rejection candle on the daily time frame on the resistance zone over there. Even on the monthly time frame is still very valid. All right. So we are still expecting further breakouts to the downside on the GBP JPY. Though the market seems to be been a bit slow between Monday and now. This is a 4-hour. And this is still valid again on 1 hour. So if a new candle breaks out below this trend line, we'll see a further continuation on GBP JPY. So we're still very bearish on GBP JPY. If you didn't enter the first run, then wait for a new candle to break out below this one, below this level, then you can trigger a sell again. You know, it's a weekly time frame thing, so it will continue. Even on lower time frame, it will continue selling. But wait for the break first. Now, I've emphasized a lot at this period. If you are not doing a long term on gold, the only thing you can do on gold is to do a scalp. That's it, because gold is on a long term buy, but you can't just enter anyhow because of the volatile nature, except you have very big capital. Except that, otherwise, you might either sit by the side and watch, or if you can scalp, because it's not giving us any clear entry on maybe 1 hour, even 15 minutes. And that's why I said trade gold with caution. And it's very, very unpredictable at this period. Yesterday it just dropped drastically by close to about 800 pips within 2 hours. So you don't know what gold will do next. Yeah, ultimately it may buy, but the question is, can your capital hold the trade? That's the truth. Can your capital really hold the trade? Except you are gambling and you just feel like, let me leave it. Otherwise, I've said it since almost 2 weeks now. Gold is unstable. Yeah, long term buy, I agree, except you're doing a swing, maybe, and you have enough equity for it. Let's say you have like $2,000 and you're swinging with as little as 0.01 or 0.02 lot. Fine. You just leave it and let it ride. Otherwise, you may see a lot of whipsaw trading gold at this time. You're welcome, Madam Monaji. It's a share with GBP USD were bullish, but it's a swing. It's clearer on the 4-hour. This is GBP USD on 4-hour. It's a falling wedge pattern.